Hi guys, this is TechZilla. I'm back again with another episode of RAW ZILLA. And I've been a little bit quiet recently. I've been sitting back listening to all the negativity about the Pixels, about the Mate 10, Mate 10 Pro, etc. And I decided I can't sit back any longer. I'm on my couch of contemplation right here. I wanted to talk about the new Pixels. And before you ask, no, I haven't got them. I haven't pre-ordered them, and I'm gonna just weren't feeling them. But I have experienced both of them. I've gone into a store where I've sat there, I've tested them, checked them out, played with them for a while. A good friend of mine, he has a Pixel XL 2, and I played with that for a while. Unfortunately, he wouldn't give it up to me because he was going on holiday and he wanted to take the phone with him. So I'll give you my feedback on what I've seen, read the screen issues and everything else. Let's start off with the big one, the screens. What's my take on the screens? Now, I can only tell you from what I've experienced from the ones I've played with in store and my friend's Pixel 2 XL. The screen. Now, I'm going to put it to you this way. The bigger one, made by LG, that's a 2K or thereabouts screen. And the small one's 1080p screen made by Samsung. Now, to my eyes, and it is just to my eyes, the smaller one looks better, the screen, to the bigger one. I don't know why, it just does. It just does. You could hear traffic going by, ignore it. It's got nothing to do with anything. Now, let's talk about the screen problems with both the Pixels. Yes, there's a blue tint when you move it in a certain angle. Now, I have a theory about that. I recall someone talking about the Pixels having some sort of polarization film or something built into the screen which makes it easier to see outdoors. Now, if that's the case, that would cause a dramatic color shift, as you're seeing on. Now, the bigger Pixel, the XL, that has a much more dramatic color shift from what I've seen than the smaller one. But if it has got that polarization film or whatever is built into the screens, it will really exaggerate that. It's like, you know, when you've got polarized sunglasses. Do you remember the HTC 10, where if you look at the screen, I think it was vertically with polarized sunglasses on, you could see it fine. And when you turned it landscape, you couldn't see the screen at all. That's what it's like. Polarization is like slats almost, like Venetian blinds, kind of. So that might explain the color shift, if you like. Now let's talk about the blotchiness people are seeing on their screens. I haven't seen that from the units I've handled. I've definitely seen the color shift, but I haven't seen that blotchiness. Now, to me, that blotchiness probably, and I could be wrong here because I'm not a screen expert, I'm not an engineer by any means. I've seen it before in other devices, and from what I recall, the blotchiness is because of the adhesive used to bond the glass to the actual LCD panel or OLED panel. And if it hasn't fully cured, there's a possibility that's what that blotchiness could be. I haven't seen graininess on the units I've played with, but I've heard there's a lot of people saying the screen looks grainy. Now, the graininess, I don't know what would be causing that, whether that's a software or hardware issue. I'm just giving you my thoughts here. Let's talk about the burning now. People are talking about burning. Now, my friend's Pixel 2 XL, he thought he had burning on his screen and he was panicking, going, "Oh, look at this, I've got burning." Shout out to you, Khalid. he kept saying, I've got burn-in, I've got burn-in. And I looked at it, and it's where the buttons, you know, the buttons are at the bottom, the home button and back button and so on. And I kept looking at it, and after a few minutes, the image actually faded out. Now, to me, that's not burn-in. That's, what's it called? Image retention, which is quite a normal thing that happens on OLED displays. Not all OLED displays are built the same, but it is a common thing. If you look at OLED TVs and you have it on an image on that screen in a strong color for a long period of time, you'll have, and you change to something else, you'll have image retention, but it fades out pretty quick. It doesn't stay permanently. How long it takes exactly, I don't know. With my friend's one, it took around about a minute, or didn't time it, but a minute, 10 seconds, something like that, until it faded away from the next screen. So I said to him, no, you haven't got burn-in, you've got image retention. But he wasn't happy still. You know, it is what it is. You're paying a lot of money for these devices. You don't want to have any kind of issue with them at all. So he's gone on holiday. He had to take the phone with him. He'll probably return it for a replacement when he returns. But, you know, that's his decision. I'm not going to sway him either way on that. So, is everyone who's saying they've got burn-in actually got burn-in? Or have some of them got image retention and they don't realize the difference? I'm not disputing that there's burn-in. Don't get me wrong. Because there probably is. Probably is. That's a difficult one. Now, there's another topic about the screen again. The colors look very muted. That's because Google decided to go with sRGB. That's I don't want to go into technical details, but it's a color spectrum, if you like, a range of colors. And they've tuned the screens on purpose to look like that. Whereas the original Pixel XL, which I've got here, this screen looks much, much better to my eyes than the Pixel 2 XL. This one's better. What does sRGB do? It tones down the colors quite dramatically. And I know there's a vivid switch, which hardly makes any difference. It's 10% increase in color punch and saturation. And that's not what people are used to. They're used to your Samsung phones. That's the biggest name when it comes to AMOLED and stuff like that. And their screens are the most punchy, brightest, most vibrant on the market. Now, whether they're truly accurate to the true colors, probably they're not. In fact, I know they're not. But what does the consumer want? The average consumer likes punchy. They like bright, they like big, they like bold. It's human nature. So I'm not defending Google here, I'm not defending the Pixel. I personally don't like the muted colors so much because I'm used to Samsung devices. But I've seen LCD panels which seem brighter and more punchy to my eyes. So there's that. That's my take on the whole color spectrum and so on. Now, it could have been that Google made that decision because they're using an OLED panel and they didn't want to have burn-in. Because the more saturated the colors are, the more you get burn-in on the screen or image retention. So they might have deliberately dialed it back on purpose for that reason. I don't know. I don't work for Google. So that's the screen. That's my take on the screen. I've gone into a bit more depth than the average reviewer, I think. No, some have a lot more detail than me, but... Right, let's move on to build quality now. And feel in the hand. Okay? Now, it's a metal phone with a glass at the top. We all know that. And the coating they've put on the actual device itself feels very, very grippy. Now, and again, this is purely me, my preference. I don't like the feel of it in terms of premiumness. And it sounds weird, but it feels like a D-brand skin. And by the way, this video is not sponsored by D-brand. Before you start, like so many other YouTubers say. actual, and my concern with this coating is this, and it was before the release of these phones as well, and I have said this in Telegram forums I'm part of, and Google have said this themselves. They've said that be careful with the device, because if you put it in your jeans pocket or in leather pockets or leather bags, and the leather or the denim comes directly in contact with the device, there will be a strong chance of color transfer from that fabric onto the phone. Now, is that a big deal? Most of you are going to say, no, it's not. Well, it should be at the price you're paying for the damn thing. It should be a big deal. It's inexcusable. I'm sorry. I'm used to using metal and glass phones, so I would say I'm spoiled, right? Look, I would say I'm spoiled maybe. But at the end of the day, it's personal preference. And I can understand if you like the feel of that coating. I get it. You know, some people don't like the cold feel of metal or glass because they feel slippery. And I understand that. Fine, have that coating, but it shouldn't be getting dyed when you're putting it in your jeans pocket without a case. Now, a lot of you are going to use a case on the device, so you're not going to be too bothered by this. And every device finish has its flaws. Metal dents when you drop it, scratches up. Glass shatters, scratches up. So there's a lot of pros and cons to everything. But that, I'm just giving you my sort of thoughts on it. So, but the phone does feel really solid in hand. It feels very easy to hold. It feels grippy. It doesn't feel like I'm going to drop it. But it's got Gorilla Glass 5 on the back and it's got it on the front. Now, Gorilla Glass 5, a lot of people suggest that it scratches easier. And it does. Gorilla Glass 5 does scratch easier than previous builds of it. So if you're going to use the phone without a case, be very careful, because the glass on the back, I've seen some drop tests and the glass shattered pretty easy. So maybe they should have just gone all metal on the back. I don't know. It's just me mouthing off here. So let's move along now. Let's talk about the front firing speakers. And again, this is personal preference. This is what I think. I love front-facing speakers. I love them. M9, beautiful front-facing speakers. The M8, the Nexus 6P, really loud, punchy, hard, and so on. Now, to my ears, and again, it's just to my ears, in-store demo units that I've listened to and tested. The smaller one, the speakers seem louder than the bigger one. I don't know why. Again, I'm not an engineer. I'm just giving you my feedback. So, to me, it's a little bit strange why it sounds like that, but that is the case. To my ears, the iPhone 8 Plus sounds louder. It sounds a lot louder than the Pixels. Now, maybe there's been a software update that's improved them. I don't know. But you're getting all these people complaining about this whining sound coming from the smaller one, from the front-facing speakers, this popping and crackling noise. I haven't experienced that from the little time I've had with them, but it is a possibility. So, you know, speakers are pretty good, pretty good. I'm not going to complain about them, but just be aware. I think, personally, for me, the iPhone 8 Plus is louder. Now let's move on to the cameras. And again, I tested them with my friend's Pixel 2 XL. Both the same camera, so it doesn't make a difference. Video quality is excellent. Photo quality is excellent. There's no getting away from that fact. Whether you like the phone or you dislike it, they're top notch. They're definitely in the top 3. For me, the top 3 are the Note 8, the Pixel. Actually, let's say the top 5. Let's go top 5. And this is no order. This is personal preference. I would say the Pixels, the new ones. I'd say the Note 8. I'd say the iPhone 8 Plus. I'd say the HTC U11. And I would say the LG V30. I think out of all of them, the weakest is the LG V30. But the reason I included that is because of all the manual controls you have. And if you do a lot of videography or photography, you have those controls. Now on video recording, there is some slight pulsing now and again of the focus, but it's not noticeable. Image stabilization is excellent, but on occasion, on certain subjects, you do get pulsates a little bit. And the shots I took, I can't show you them unfortunately because I couldn't download them from store units and whatever. And my friend's Pixel XL, he went off on holiday before I could really get the footage off him, and I wanted to make this video quick. I'd say the white balance is a little bit too strong. It's a little bit too bright. That's just me, personal preference, that's all. Don't think I'm slagging the phone off. I'm just telling you how I think about it. So the cameras, they're great, there's not a problem there. Now one thing I did notice that's strange though, if you take a picture on the Pixels, because of the screen is so muted, the picture doesn't look as good on the actual screen of the device. It's really odd. So if you one of these people that likes to put filters on it or likes to adjust it before you post it to Instagram or post it to Facebook or whatever, be careful, because the screen's it's kind of giving you a misrepresentation of the colors. So, and I tried it and I Bluetoothed the picture to my Note 8. And what I found was, it looks completely different on a Note 8 screen than it did on the Pixel screens. That's a little bit strange decision. I mean, I know Google have announced they're going to release a software update to fix this dull color, if you like. The screen definitely looks bright enough, but it just looks a little bit odd. A little bit odd. I mean, that's my take on the Pixels. The Pixel 2 and the Pixel 2 XL. I said I don't have them. I have no intention of buying them yet. I want to let this whole thing blow over and then think about actually buying it. I'm looking to get the iPhone 10, hopefully, fingers crossed. Not because I'm an Apple fan, because I want to test the phone out. I've got the iPhone 8 Plus right here. My review, I'm going to be posting that this week, so stay tuned for that, guys. What do you think? Have you got a Pixel 2 XL? Let me know in the comments below. What do you think about what I've said? Do you think they're viable things I've said? Do you think they're a load of garbage? It's just my take on it from a technical point of view, and opinions as well, part of it. But this is TechZilla saying thank you for joining me. I'll see you all again real soon. Peace and bye for now.